Hello. Hi, hello, hello. It's been a few months since I played Ace Attorney. It's been a bit. It's okay, it's fine. Two things. One, my shoulder hurts a little bit today, so I may or may not end early, or I may or may not take like a bunch of breaks. I don't know. We'll see. Two, I woke up late, and I went to bed late, or fell asleep late rather. So I'm tired. So I don't know how long this will be. Maybe like at the least like 2 hours, or maybe like an hour and a half. I don't know. We'll see. We'll find out. We have trial. Ace Attorney have many talking in it. So let's go. Also, let me know if the volume is bad. I might take it down a little bit already, just because Ace Attorney has many bleeps and bloops that are very loud. Okay. Well, this is it! Today's the day it all goes down. And there was yesterday. This meeting is over. Sorry. Just give us 5 more minutes. We can call them back after that. Sorry, no go. Come on, piano boy. We're leaving. Darian, wait! I never liked you. Either of you. Huh? I'm also hoping this is where we left off, because I don't actually remember where we left off. I could have opened my video, but I didn't. Darn it, we were so close! He was about to tell us! Hey, Apollo! He didn't want us to hear what Machi had to say. I think I know why. Time to bring down a little justice. Okay. What was that? He has heard but unseen. Who's that talking? Valid grammar eye! Using the door like an average muggle, no less. Okay. You aren't the witness today, are you, Uncle Valent? Ha 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 ha! A preposterous proposition. How could I stand to stand upon a stand? Why, my secrets would be free for the plucking! I might even have to sign autographs. That is why I intend to remain hidden for the entire day. Ooh, with vanishing magic? Indeed! I will jump upon an express train and express myself to the next town over. But before I go, a word of warning. Warning? What? A grand grammar glamour resides at this root of all that has happened. Yeah. Janetsu probably did it. Do not forget this truth. A glamour? God, the game is loud in my ears. Be quiet. Silence. A spell, a sorcery, a great illusion. Miss Trucy, though it pains me to part so, I need to get in line for a ticket. Farewell! Okay, bye. And here he goes. You sure seemed happy about the illusion thing. Oh, big illusions are the bread and butter of a magician. You can't pull off a show without one. The big illusion is always a spectacle to remember. Usually it involves cutting up things like people or elephants, or the Eiffel Tower. Anything, really! So he was talking about what we saw at the concert. Lamora's disappearing act. And Prosecutor Gavin's exploding guitar. I wonder what he meant by being at the root of all that was happened. Well, it's about time. Shall we go? Excuse me, sir. Yes? The scheduled starting time of the trial has been changed. The trial will not be commencing until 10:30 AM. Sorry for the inconvenience. Okay. Huh? Did something happen? This is the first. It was by the judge's request. Some urgent personal business. Great. I bet he stayed up too late last night watching courtroom dramas. Apparently he's visiting the hospital again. The hospital? I believe it was mentioned that the Chief Justice's son is unwell. Apparently his condition has worsened considerably this morning. Chief Justice's son. Oh, that's right. Remember yesterday morning? The judge said he had to go to visit him after the trial. There's an article about it in the newspaper. If you care to read about it yourself. Okay. Enchiritis? Where have I heard that before? I love stupid fake disease names. I'll let you read that article for us, Apollo. Just leave the TV Guide page to me. Try not to lose the page of the funnies if you can. Can I get a peek at this? Give me that. No. Okay, yeah. First case in country. Okay. Oh, that's called incuratus syndrome and not simply just incuratus. I don't know if that's how diseases work, but... My apologies for the delay. Court is now in session for the trial of, how do you say this name again? Machi Tabai, our suspect fortissimo. Oh, you made a nightmare smoothly? Good job. Right, it's his trial in any case. The defense is prepared, Your Honor. Prosecution is ready to rock. Is something wrong, Your Honor? No, well, yes. It's just, I've been friends with the Chief Justice since we were students. It pains me to see him going through such a difficult time. Incuritis, was it? That article said there is no known cure. Her Judge, let me say, with all honesty, I feel your pain. But now is not the time for tears. Now is the time for law. Indeed. We left off at quite a juncture yesterday. Oh. I do want to apologize in advance if I get extremely tongue-tied. It's been a while since I streamed regularly. And my ability to pronounce words goes if I don't practice, which I don't do. I asked Interpol about that number. IP XX314206. The agent registered under this number was Romain Latouche. Thanks for looking into that for us, Detective Crescent. It's a great help. Oh, no problem at all, Your Honor. I'll be heading out. Wait! That voice just now. It was him, I'm sure of it. It was him? That voice I heard talking to Mr. Latouche when I heard the gunshots fired. It was him! It was Mr. Jarian! No way! Quite a sensational ending. Who would have thought Darien would guest star in the season cliffhanger as a suspect? I asked the prosecution to look into this matter. Please tell the court your findings. Darien Crescent is a member of my band, the Gaviners. He is also a detective, making the current charges serious indeed. Yet, after investigation, I have found no cause to alter our case or file new charges. And your reason is? Weren't you aware, Herr Forehead? He has an impeccable alibi. An alibi? Let us review the facts again, shall we? The concert held on the night of the shooting was in 3 sets. Excuse me. Excuse me again, I'm so sorry. The Gaviners gripped up the stage during the first set. For the second set, our guest took center stage. I have this, my guy. The only performers appearing were myself, Noir, and Machi, along with a drummer and bassist. For a total— why is this so slow? The shooting in the dressing room, however, took place during the 3rd set. Lemoire and the defendant, Machi Tabai, had left the stage at that point. And the Gaviners were already rocking. Yeah, it's extremely— we investigated ourselves and found ourselves innocent, Your Honor. It's like, okay, sure, whatever. Whatever you say. This is when 2 shots rang out at the scene of the crime. Shots heard by Detective Emma Skye, mind you. And Apollo, you heard them too, right? I sure did. Furthermore, Lamar herself witnessed the moment of the crime. Well, perhaps I should say she heard the moment of the crime. When she claims to have heard Mr. Latouche and Detective Crescent talking. But that's impossible! Detective Crescent was— Precisely. Detective Crescent was on stage, getting his groove on, no less. Voila! A perfect alibi! Does the defense have anything to add to this? It's true. When I heard those gunshots, he must have been on stage. Still, there's something here that doesn't quite add up. It appears the defense has no objections. I believe we can safely say that Darien Crescent's alibi has been acknowledged, which means that Lemoire was sadly mistaken. Her testimony cannot be true. Very well. Of course, if we disregard her testimony, then I see no evidence keeping us from declaring a verdict. If indeed there are no objections. Uh-oh, Apollo! If he declares the verdict now— Ah, but Prosecutor Gavin's case is airtight! Lemoire might have been lying to protect Machi. How can I rely on her testimony? Wait, what did we yesterday in the detention center? About the case? What about the case? You want to tell us about Mr. Latus's death? This meeting's over. Darian? Machi was trying to tell us something, I know it! Maybe the best thing to do is ask him, under oath. Very well. The court finds the defendant, what was his name again? Objection! Your Honor! No, that wasn't it. It was something like Marquis, or Mr. Justice? Your Honor, before you declare a verdict, I would like to call another witness. Exactly who else do you need to hear from? A witness who, until now, has not been given a chance to speak in this court. Because he doesn't speak English. You don't mean... I do. The defense calls defendant Machi Tobai to the stand. What? But he doesn't speak English. We'll use an interpreter. Interpreter? I'm afraid you'll have to look elsewhere. I only speak a few phrases such as, I love you, and where's the toilet? The defense would like to request Lamar as the interpreter. Lamar? But there's a possibility she's protecting the defendant. But she'd be interpreting for the defendant. Why would she lie? Apollo. This is most unusual. Bravo, hair forehead. Now, Judge, the prosecution agrees with the defense's request. I just hit some random keys on my keyboard. Hope I didn't do anything. If Lamar sorry. If Lamar lies, I'll be able to tell. Even my limited knowledge of the language should be enough for that. Fair enough. Well, if both prosecution and defense are for this, I see little cause for refusal. Finally, some progress! Bailiff, please show the defendant and Lamar to the witness stand. I'm so sorry. Suppose there's a first time for everything. Shall we proceed? Your name to begin with. If you would, Lamar. Yes. He says, Machi Tobai, the defendant. This is certainly a first for this courtroom. Not that we really need an interpretation of that message in particular. So far, so good. Very well. Mr. Justice, if you would. Huh? If I would what, Your Honor? Would what? You called the defendant to the stand, did you not? What would you have him testify about? What do I want to testify about? I hadn't thought that far yet. Apollo? Aren't you going to ask him what he was about to tell us yesterday? How can I if I don't know what he was saying? Excuse me again. Apollo is not good at his— none of the attorneys are very good at their job. But they get it done, I guess. Excuse me, a moment if I might speak? Yes, Lamar? Just now, Machi said there was something about which he wishes to testify. Machi wants to testify about something? What could it be? What sort of testimony is he talking about? One moment, please. Ah, the suspense is killing me! What? 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 Well, Lamar? Yeah, I know player characters have to be sort of dumb, but it's pretty egregious in Ace Attorney! According to Machi, he has proof of his innocence. What?! This is a surprise. Yahoo! Victory, Apollo! We did it! This is sounding too good to believe, and I know what that usually means. Well, if that's true, then this is vital testimony. Machi! Please testify to the court. Very well. He says that word of Mr. Latus's death came as a great shock. But if the killing truly followed the lyrics of my song, I, that is, he, could not have done it. He says that because the lyrics are in English, he does not understand them. That's flimsy at best. I see. He wouldn't have understood the English lyrics to the song. That would prevent him from following them so closely. I wonder what he meant by proof. Why, he would only have to ask Lamar to know the meaning of that song. Lamar! Did you ever explain the lyrics of that song to him? I did tell him, generally, what the song was about. But never in so much detail, and he never asked. Has my oft-repeated warning already fled that forehead? Lamar might be protecting the witness. Well, anyway, let us proceed with the cross-examination. Mr. Justice, if you would, I did not preload the walkthrough. Yes, Your Honor. Something's hidden in that testimony, I know it. I know, Paweł. I just have to- it's bad. I just have to trust my bracelet to tell me where. Where is that fucking tab? It's on my phone somewhere. I have so much shit open, goddammit. Is it this? No, that's about the localization. Fuck this. There it is. Okay, I'm good. Good God, when the tabs hit. It worked yesterday, it'll work today! Am I even in the right place on this? No, I'm still in the investigation. Oh god, hang on, let me open the trial. Yeah. Alright, there we go. Proof of innocence. He says that word of Institute's death came at a great shock. Is the killing truly- okay, we read this already. You don't have done it. Lyrics in English. Let's press it. Wouldn't it be difficult for him to perform without knowing the meaning of the lyrics? No, he's a pianist. He did know what the song was about, its mood, shall we say. This was enough to play it. I told him it was a song about a guitar in love. It's not actually the guitar that's in love, strictly speaking. Oh? Perhaps I misunderstood. No, not really. Yours is also a valid interpretation. Okay. No, it is my fault. I am too used to singing Borginian. It is much easier than trying to understand these English lyrics. Yay! I knew he was innocent! I believe he is too, Trucy. I do. What's wrong, Apollo? You got a tummy ache or something? Something's hidden in that testimony. If it's the truth, I'll find it. To be fair, I think Clavier wrote the lyrics. I think that's the correct, or he collabed with Lamar, but they are written in English. Oh, damn it. Oops, I see. I was at the end. Alright, let's press it all. Were Machi and Mr. Latouche close? Yes, after we traveled around the world together. Lamar, this is Machi's cross-examination, not yours. But I knew the answer. This is a court of law. We'll play by the book. I understand. Prosecutor Gavin's tough. He's really tough. I still love so much that Clavier slams the back of the wall instead of his desk. It's really good. Machi says he was very close with friends with Mr. Latouche. Mr. Latouche was always a gentleman, never angry. We got along quite well. I never dreamed something like this would happen. The Guitar Serenade, correct? Yes, the crime followed the lyrics of the song. The theft of the keyring, the burning guitar, and the bullet. This is why it could not have been me. Okay. I could not have done it, you mean... It's very simple. Machi could not have done all the things that happened that day. For all those things followed the song lyrics closely. Okay. What all is in here? There's, oh god. I'm kind of at critical mass with the court record here. Yeah, late trial court record as hell. Problem with taking a few months break is that, like, any amount of knowledge has fallen from my brain. Oops. Alright, let me look at my phone. God damn it. I'm still not used to, like, how this- you're supposed to know when to use this mechanic. It's a cool mechanic, but I never know when to use it. Stares at you. Gotcha! Machi. You can't fool my eyes. You glanced towards her the very moment Lamar said the word English. Why? And don't bother interpreting that, he understands me. Machi, tell the truth. You can understand English, can't you? What are you saying? Of course he can't. I really love Apollo's voice lines in AA4. It's so good. Must he continue this charade? Mr. Justice, Machi says this. I know the word English. Huh? Before coming to this country, he heard me speaking English. He learned the name for this language, that is all. What? Give me a break! Is that such an unusual word to understand? Do you not know Espanol, for resistance? Well, yeah, but... I'm sorry, but he truly does not understand your language. Well, then explain this! How does he know the crime follow the lyrics? Have you always been such a suspicious-minded lad? Lad? It is simple. So simple it hardly requires an explanation. You read about it in the newspaper. The newspaper? The Bohemian Daily Bugle. You can buy it in this country these days, you know. Why? Are there many foreign newspapers in domestic stores? I wouldn't know. I don't know the last time I, like, encountered a newspaper that wasn't, like, the Chronicle Herald. Or the Masthead News. Those are local papers. This country these days, you know. They've already begun to report about this case in our homeland. Here's some Spanish, but I'm also Texas. Yeah. Where the fuck is it? Oh, this is very useful. Maybe we'll find Spanish ones, but not much else. Wait. I may have fucked up. What is wrong, Mr. Justice? Your eyes, they're quite fierce all of a sudden. Machi is lying! Maybe it's time to show them proof that he's lying. Oh, okay, I didn't fuck up, I need to forget how his attorney works. I have here a Borginian newspaper. The Borginian Daily Bugle, as a matter of fact. Indeed, there is a feature article about the case. Could you read this for me, Machi? That's right. It doesn't mention the lyrics. What is this all about? I'm sorry, Machi. You couldn't have read up the lyrics in a Virginian newspaper. What does this mean? But I don't see how it's possible. Ah, I know. He must have heard the lyrics when the police were doing their questioning. Yes. They're in English. Not possible if the subject of the lyrics was not brought up in police questioning. I read the full report myself. So the lyrics weren't in the newspaper and the police didn't mention them. The only place you could have heard them was in the courtroom. In English, no less. The witness will explain himself. Machi says... He says... Yes. It is true I read the newspaper. But this is not where I learned of the lyrics. I was mistaken. Now I remember... You remember? He says he heard the lyrics from me. What? Is this true, Lamar? Yes, I'm afraid I had forgotten it myself. Then it looks like half forehead's been jumping to conclusions again. Seems so, yes. Oh, no! I was onto something, I know it! I can't let this chance slip away! Time is an issue today. Mr. Justice, are you finished with your cross-examination? What are you going to do, Apollo? If I'm going to keep on the cross-examining, I'd better have an angle of attack. Or else. My bracelet's still reacting. Your Honor, please allow me to continue. If you must, you must. Very well. Witness? Yeah, Apollo's prehensile air. I understand. It was I who explained that the crime followed the song. The bracelet's reacting. Staring at you. Oh wait, no, Lamar's the one talking. Oh, fuck. Shit. Here again. Oh. Gotcha! Lamar, I'm currently cross-examining Machi. Why should you be uncertain? Me? Uncertain? Yes, you swallowed the very moment you told the court. How do you swallow while you're talking? It's very obvious. It was I who explained. I see there's little point in trying to hide anything from you. Lamar, are you indeed protecting someone? That is not a question with a simple answer. To tell the truth, I do not believe it myself. Then allow me to answer for you. Lamar, you're protecting Machi, duh. Lamar, you're protecting Machi. That's why you lied and told us that you'd explained how the crime followed the song. I don't fault you for trying to help, but this is not the way. Machi, I believe you didn't do it, really, I trust you. But you've lied to us twice. And now you have Lamar lying on your behalf. If this is going to work, you have to trust me too. Your two lies cover a simple truth. You understand English, you have to! Ah! Witness, is this true? Do you understand English? Yes, a little only. What? First you could see, now we can talk. And you did not know about this, Lamar? No, I did not! This is quite a surprise! How many secrets is this witness hiding? This is last. Machi, could you tell us what really happened? No shooting! I did no shooting! So you weren't in the dressing room when I heard those two gunshots, correct? Apparently, the answer to that question isn't simple either. I was in dressing room, behind desk, manager, he on floor. Which would be after the shooting, right? Then there was voice. Voice? Or voices? Was it you and Emma, Apollo? So when Machi went to the dressing room, Mr. Latus had already been shot. Yeah, because there was that, that thump we heard when we went into the room. And then we came to the door. Panel high up. Take off. Run away! Run away! So it was you who escaped through the air vent? I wonder what this text is delivered like in Japanese. I mean, it's probably just broken, but... Haha, as the cross news huddle along, no less. The defendant has admitted to being at the scene. Might we take this as a confession? No! He's clearly denied that he did it! I know shooting! Manager on floor! Already on floor! The victim had already been shot, you say? I find that hard to believe. The defendant understood the song lyrics. He was at the scene of the crime. This can only mean one thing. He is the shooter. Does the defendant have anything to say to this? He's clammed up, Apollo? Then let's ask Mr. Justice. Will you require any further testimony from the witness? Is that it? Is there nothing else I can get her to testify about? Wait, no, of course there is! What is this cocoon anyway? The cocoon, the silk, is a potent cure. A cure? Well, Machi, are you a smuggler? He won't tell me. A cocoon has to evolve something to do with this. Machi, please, tell us the truth for your own sake. No, no more speak. Not to any of you. So much for your precious trust, Hair Forehead. Hey, you were the one who didn't believe him! Regardless, this brings us to an impasse. It does think the defense and defendant are at odds. I doubt we are likely to learn anything more of value should this continue. I see no other course but to declare a 5-minute recess. The defense will work things out with the defendant so that we might proceed. Now the fuck we won't. Yeah, I mean, it's probably the original is probably just like the same. If it's just like the speech is missing words, but Japanese has like multiple alphabets, so I wonder if like maybe he was speaking in a specific alphabet. I mean, I guess I could like go find a Japanese Let's Play and see what the text is. Apollo Eustace. That's justice. Better learn how to say it if you ever want to get some. Be nice. Believe. I know shooting. Yeah, like, he's probably speaking katakana. Much of his wish for the tooth was already down on the ground when he entered the room. Maybe it was a trap and he walked right into it? Suddenly, I hear a revolver. Close. Very close. Then, I hear a voice. You heard gunshots? Yes, it is true. I hear a revolver, but only sound. Wait, you're saying you went to the dressing room and found Mr. Latu's already dead and then you heard shots? If that's true, so you were at the scene of the crime when you heard those shots? And you escaped through the air vent. I know. Huh? What do you know? I know if by opening vent, I can leave stage and backstage. So the vents went to both the stage and the backstage area? Is that what he means? You have a map, yeah. Hey, he's right! Look, Apollo! Huh. Yeah. But how did you know it was connected like that? Wait, I bet his father was the architect that designed the hall or something. I hear this from Magician. Magician? Don't look at me! A magician, huh? Well, at least we're clear on one thing. Machi didn't shoot Miss Latus. Is my hot chocolate still hot? Yeah, I can drink it. Oh wow, it's very sweet. Yeah, what does that leave us with? We're supposed to say he went into the room to find the body and then he heard the shots? That one's gonna go over well in court. Not. Apollo, you're his defense. You're supposed to believe whatever he says, even lies. That's what Daddy always told me. I'll just pretend you misheard him every time. So, what do we do? You sure you won't testify, Machi? No talking. No. Well, it was worth a shot. That cocoon. I can't go home. Can't go home? I can't go home to Virginia. I do not want to go home. The penalty for taking a cocoon for Virginia is death. That's right! It's punishable by death! It still seems extremely harsh. Of course, he's scared. I wonder if there's anything in real world that you can get punished for death for smuggling. There probably is. I'm sure there is. But I don't know what it would be. Guess we'll have to try a different approach. That's the spirit, Apollo! So, what's your plan? If Machi won't testify about it, we'll have to get someone else to testify. Someone else? I think we're out of time. Let's get back in there. Right! court is now back in session. Mr. Justice, have you sorted things out with the defendant? Yes, Your Honor. We had a good talk. Very well. So will he testify? Your Honor, the defendant will not testify. What? Shame. And here I thought this was your big chance to turn the case around. Actually, it is. The defense would like to approach this case from a different angle, Your Honor. A different angle? If Machi won't testify... Man, Ace Attorney always going at cases at a different angle, to the point that these cases are shaped like fucking stars with how many goddamn angles there are. If Machi won't testify, then I know who will. I would like to cross-examine the witness in this case, Lamar. Again. Lamar? Objection! What are you up to now? I thought we determined yesterday Lamar's testimony was insubstantial. There's nothing you can... Lamar was taken to the hospital yesterday with injuries. What happened? She was assaulted, Your Honor. Assaulted? Someone wanted Lamar dead. Thankfully, she was able to save herself. What? I've heard no such report. Why would he not hear about this? He's the prosecution! One of his witnesses just got fucking got! Man, the chain of command down at the prosecutor's office is fucking horrid. Prosecutor Gavin. Why would anyone be out to kill Lamar? Can you think of a reason? Well... Yeah, no one in this game talks to each other. Nobody likes to talk at Ace Attorney. It's all about having aces up your sleeves. It's all about juking everybody. Think of how she was known in your country. And Ace Attorney 4 is actually like the better one for this because they do actually kind of work together more. I mean, I guess like after Edgeworth got like his ass handed to him, he'd work together with Phoenix, but he only ever shows up in finales. Think of how she is known in our country. A singer from overseas who doesn't speak English, yes? Yet someone tried to keep her mouth shut. Who could that have been? You don't think... I do! It was the same person who shot Mr. Latouche. The killer was afraid of her, afraid of what she might say. The defendant believes that something was hidden in her testimony yesterday. I'll never ever forget about Real Lawyers playing A1 and being flabbergasted at the updated autopsy report. Yeah! I do really wish there was like... I mean, there probably is. There probably is like Japanese lawyers that have played Ace Attorney. I wonder if anyone's... I'll have to dig up research, because I know that like a lot of the discrepancies with Ace Attorney is that like the court system is just different. So like, yeah, it doesn't make sense in American law because that's not how we do it. So of course it's gonna be like, that's not how it works, yeah. But I'll have to look that up later. I know I've like read articles about how the law works in Japan, but that was like 2 years ago, 3 years ago at this point. I don't have a brain that functions. Something that the killer doesn't want getting out. So am I oh god, my hot chocolate is so sweet. So am I to understand that this is what you're saying? Namely, that there was a nugget of truth in Lamar's testimony. A nugget we have yet to uncover? Exactly. If Lamar was attacked, this has serious implications. Very well. There were some vague points in her testimony during yesterday's trial. Perhaps we did not inquire as deeply as we might have into some. The court will hear Lamar's testimony once more. Lamar, I must apologize. We must ask you to stand again and speak. You need not apologize. I know that Machi is innocent, and I will do all that I can until the court realizes this. Let's review your testimony from yesterday. You told us you heard 2 gunshots in the shooter's voice through the window, and that the voice belonged to Darian Crescent, yes? That is correct. Why haven't we marked Crescent in yet? At which point I proved she could not be correct. Actually, has he testified yet? I can't remember if he's testified yet. No, he did, because that's how Lamar heard his voice. What the fuck was he testifying about? Oh god. She couldn't have heard any of those things. The small window at the scene was closed and was found to be quite soundproof. You have nothing to say to that, Mr. Justice? I don't know exactly what yet, but I do know there's something here! There is, it seems, much you do not know. And yet it is my duty to hear him out. Perhaps the witness would be so kind as to testify once more to the court? Of course, Your Honor. I was on my way from the stage to the backstage exit. That's when I heard them. Show the two as the detective. Oh yeah, Darian told us about Romaine being an Interpol agent. Yes, thank you for remembering. I heard the faint sound of a gunshot and stopped. Then I heard another gunshot. There was the smell of gunpowder. I knew I must tell someone, but I was in a hurry, so I kept moving past the small window. Pretty much the same as yesterday's testimony. I am sorry. I'm not used to speaking much in this language. Perhaps my descriptions are lacking in some way. Yet, everything I have said here is the truth. Then it is my distinct displeasure to say this. What you have said to have happened is impossible. Do I have to repeat myself? Lamar was attacked because of this testimony. What? Trucy? Apollo, you know, for a moment there, you were pretty cool. Maybe I do better when I don't try to think ahead. Very well, Mr. Justice. Perhaps you can coolly cross-examine the witness? I'm on my way from yes. Oh, let's just press. Let's press. Is something wrong? I raised an objection, but she's saying the same thing she said before. Mr. Justice? Sorry, it's nothing. Please continue with the testimony. Okay, so it's not one of these testimonies that we can just press. Now I know what they mean about the reckless youth these days. The one in red over there is a shining example here, Judge. You're the last person who should be pointing fingers, Mr. Rockstar. Okay. So the two's the detective. Well, we don't know what they were talking about. During Crescent, I did not know his name at the time. But yes, it was him, the one who took the stand yesterday. How many times do I need to remind you that's impossible? There is no way you could have heard him. Because the window at the scene was closed? That was Apollo. Is that why? Of course. Apollo, if we keep asking the same questions as yesterday, we won't get anywhere! I don't remember yesterday, Jersey! Maybe there's a different angle I can try. Yeah, what were they talking about? Limar, do you by any chance remember what they were saying to each other? If so, please tell us. I have given it much reflection, but I was afraid of this. She doesn't remember. I only heard one phrase clearly. A whole phrase? You remember something that was said? Why didn't you say anything yesterday? Though my memory is clear, I was afraid to speak. You see, I do not understand what was said. This could be it, the clue I've been waiting for! Well, what did he say? It was the other man speaking, not Mrs. Latouche. The shooter, then. During Crescent. Well, what did he say? It's over. Press the switch, now. Switch? And the shooter said this to the victim, Mrs. Latouche? I thought it was quite strange myself afterward. It is a mystery. What could it possibly mean? That is the most bizarre thing to just hear. Mr. Justice, care to shed some light on this? I mean, sure, I'd be delighted. It's, very vital. Maybe we could add that to the testimony. Maybe, Apollo? Press the switch now. I don't know if pressing will get us anywhere. What do we have? This has a switch. I guess technically a gun has a switch. Oh, this fucking thing. Objection! Press the switch. There's only one key that can unlock the mystery of those words. Oh? Yet there was nothing at the scene that could be called a switch. Say the lights. Yeah, this was under the fucking couch or whatever. True, there wasn't a switch at the scene. Or wait, no, was this in the piano? But it just so happens I have a switch right here. That certainly does look like a switch, doesn't it? It looks like a lighter. The problem is, this was found not at the scene of the crime, but on stage. Yeah, this was in the piano. This stage? Where the concert was held, yes. This was found hidden there. On the stage. Are you claiming that the voice Lamar heard was there someone commanding another to press the switch? It's a possibility. Oh, hair forehead? I'd call that an impossibility. Why? It's hardly necessary for me to remind the court of the layout of the concert forum. The stage is quite far from Lamar's dressing room. Not to mention that the Governors were in the middle of a concert on the said stage. We aren't known for being a quiet band. You could shout all you wanted and not be heard. The detective's voice was loud, but certainly not a shout. Did you guys forget you were wearing fucking earpieces? So, too, have Fire Forehead's cries of possibility fallen far short of being heard. Sorry, but he wouldn't have needed to shout. Excuse me? You heard what I said, or do you need me to shout it out for you? It would have been quite simple to be heard on the stage from that dressing room. Oh, wait, you like evidence, don't you? How about this? Using this, it would be easy to get a message from someone on stage from the dressing room. Yeah, duh. Prosecutor Gavin, perhaps you're unfamiliar with this? Or familiar? What, that's... What is it? Is that some kind of newfangled phone they invented while I wasn't looking? This is a type of transmitter, a communications device. Communications device? From what I've heard that night, everyone on stage was wearing one of these. Isn't that right, Prosecutor Gavin? Yes, actually. They're for talking between band members. We all had one on. So you admit that if you were wearing one of these, talking from the backstage to the stage would be simple. True, but wait. Those send out an electronic signal. To avoid interference with the audio systems, their range is quite limited. Lamar said it was about 30 feet, right? 30 feet is pretty big. Sorry, my fucking service provider just texted me. Look at this cross-section diagram of the concert forum. Ah. Exactly. The walk from the stage to the backstage seems far, but the direct distance is less than 30 feet. That can't be. So, when Lamar heard the shooter's voice, I could have been talking to someone on stage. Ha! You're claiming this is the switch in question? Why did it have to be on the stage at the time? It could have been placed in a pocket and carried anywhere. Someone could have hid it on the stage after the fact. Hey, he's got a point. How do we know where it was when she heard the voice? When the shooter said press a switch? Well, I guess we don't. An unfortunate situation. I'm afraid that until we know where the switch was, there's little point in debating it. Ugh. I'm sure this was the way to go with this. What is the switch, anyway? We don't even know that basic fact. I do... Wait a second. I do know what this switch is. And if you follow that train of logic to this incredible conclusion, it ends up in proof that completely changes this case. What's up, Apollo? Apollo? We know about the switch, right? We know what it is. Yeah? Well, think of when it was used that day. Think of what happened. Well, Mr. Justice? If you have no further information to share concerning the switch... Your Honor! Yes, Mr. Justice? I've been remiss not telling the court this before. I know what this switch is. Well, it seems the defense is set upon linking this switch to this case. Sorry, I'm barely here. All I can fucking think about is people Ace Attorney-ing the Apple v Epic Games trial. That's just all I can think about right now. Let's see your evidence of this link. What evidence do you have to explain this switch is? This fucking... where is it? Give me that carcass. I hope it's this. Prosecutor Gavin, you remember this? Well, I got the victory music. Ah! That's that... That's what? Is it another one of those newfangled phones? Ugh. Today heard Applebee's? What does that mean? This is an igniter. Phone looks like this. Igniter? You mean it's like a lighter? Totally. What is that? What? Alex, what are you saying to me? Yes, actually. You weren't saying the switch is a remote? I am. This is a remote trigger for an igniter. When you said Apple versus... Oh! Apple V, you heard Applebee's. Oh, okay. Yeah, Apple versus Epic Games. This is a remote trigger for an igniter. What? Look, I'll show you. Yo! Mr. Justice, you will cease from desist from burning the court burning out of this courtroom. Sorry, that was a bit more fire than I'd expected. If my whiskers are caught on fire... Prosecutor Gavin, let me repeat myself. This switch is a remote igniter trigger. Does that suggest something to you? You're talking about what happened to me, aren't you? Ah! Yeah, show me that footage! Exactly. That night at the concert, there was one unusual burst of flame. Yeah! When your guitar caught fire in the middle of your performance. Wasn't that part of the stage show, though? Prosecutor Gavin was entirely unaware such a thing had been planned. And the guitar that burned was a valuable keepsake. That's right. He got it in Borginia from Lemoire. He said the sound was amazing, before it burned, of course. Now it just kind of smokes. The bigger the guitar, the brighter it burns. Her forehead. Yes? Don't tell me you're trying to tie these two things together. Those being the shooter's voice, heard by Lemoire, and the guitar suddenly catching on fire. I am. It's really simple when you think about it. Mr. Latouche and the shooter were at the crime scene. The shooter was wearing a headset. He ordered someone on stage to press the switch. The switch was pressed, and the guitar caught fire. Well, that does seem to make sense. There was something about it just bugging me. Can't quite put my finger on it. Really? It seems pretty simple to me. Her forehead. Don't destroy what little respect I have for you. I was expecting something a little more sensible. I guess I was wrong. What's this all about, Prosecutor Gavin? A simple story simply makes no sense. Think! That night, my guitar caught fire, yes. The cause may have been this indeed. Didn't they literally find it in your guitar? However, the guitar caught fire during the second set. Ah! That's right! Of course! The guitar caught fire during Lemoire's song. Indeed. Yet the shooting happened during the third set. The two are utterly unrelated. Yes, that must have been what was bugging me. The whole premise for this is faulty. See? His story makes no sense. Are you sure about that? What exactly do you mean, Mr. Justice? Maybe it's not the premise for the explanation of the switch that's at fault. Maybe it's our premise for the entire case so far. What premise is this specifically? I'm glad you asked. I'm saying that maybe the killing didn't take place in the third act. What's this? But Detective Emma Sky heard shots and found the body. All of this happened in the third act. Gunshots rang out, and according to his testimony, Monty was in that dressing room at the time. Where are you going with this, Mr. Justice? Stay with me, Your Honor! He also told us this in this testimony. Namely, that the victim had already been shot. We all heard gunshots, but no one saw the shooting. This is insane! Just before the shooting took place, the shooter was heard on the headset, telling someone to press the switch. The next moment, Prosecutor Gavin's guitar burst into flame. We know that a remote triggered igniter was inside the guitar. From all these facts, we can only draw one conclusion. The crime did not take place during the third act, but during the ballad performance, the second act. What?! Order, order, order! But that goes against the evidence! What does, Your Honor? This crime was carried out according to the lyrics of that song, yes? Hey, he's right! Look! The bullet is supposed to come after the fire! You're thinking about it the wrong way. Huh? Look. Why would the shooter craft the events of the day to follow the lyrics anyway? It's an awful lot of trouble to go through, with little merit for the person doing it. Well, I'm sure whoever it was has some reason. Yes, they did. A reason that made it advantageous to follow the lyrics. You're saying the order was reversed on purpose? Reversed, Prosecutor Gavin? If the criminal followed the lyrics strictly, then yes. The shooting would have had to come after the guitar burst into flame. Yet, Herr Forehead has raised another possibility. He's claiming that the bullet came not after, but just before the fire. Couldn't have put it better myself. We were only meant to think that the shooting came after the guitar burst into flame. That was the criminal's objective. The crime followed the lyrics to a point, but that was the ruse. Why else would the killer risk discovery by moving the body? That was the final touch to make us think he'd followed the lyrics this whole way. Order, order, order! That'll explain this most unusual situation. It does. The killer changed the order of the events to create himself an alibi. In other words, the killer was someone who had an alibi for the third set, but not the second. I was hoping it wouldn't come to this, but sadly it has. Let me tell you why your little fairy tale makes no sense at all. Oh, it sounds good, I'll give you that. You've given us a reason why the killer bothered following the lyrics to my song. But I question your logic. For it's flawed from the very beginning. Flawed? Yes. A contradiction, Herr Forehead, one I've pointed out several times no less. At the time of the crime, the small window at the scene was closed. How could Lamar have heard a voice through it? Oh. I know that you would like to divert our attention from this critical fact, but you're basing your entire line of reasoning on a false premise. Right. Lamar's testimony is my entire case. That voice she heard, the shooter's voice. What if she couldn't hear it, Apollo? Look, what do we have? A man pressing the switch, saying press the switch. And near the crime scene we have a switch, which acts as a remote trigger for an igniter. And last but not least, Prosecutor Gavin's flaming guitar. It can't all be coincidence, but how do I make it work? Where am I? I see a more direct line of questioning was required. When the crime scene was investigated, immediately after the crime, that window was closed. Care to tell us how Lamar heard the voice? A key point, to be sure. Mr. Justice, can you explain this to the court? Okay, Justice, you got one thing to prove and one thing only. Lamar heard a voice. And she heard it during the second set. Think, how is Lamar able to hear the voice? Shh. Window was open, she has divine hearing, she was somewhere else. Well, the window was closed. She does not have divine hearing. So I guess she was somewhere else. When we investigated the scene, the window was closed. The shooter had no reason to close it, had it been open either. Meaning, it was impossible to hear the voice through that window. Ah, it's good to hear you making sense again. For a moment I was afraid you might be Borginian too. Don't be rude. As I was saying, Lamar could not hear the voice through that window. So there can only be one explanation. She heard the voice from another location entirely. What's this? Ah, you do amuse me so. And here I thought you and Good Sense were back on speaking terms. Now I'm afraid you and Good Sense speak two entirely different languages. Shall I interpret for you, Herr Forehead? Lamar clearly stated she heard the voice through that small window. And there's only one small window at the scene. Are you sure? Think about it. Isn't there another small window at the scene? There is? Ah, I know that look. He wants us to ask him. Very well. You claim Lamar heard the voice from another location. Excuse me. Mr. Justice, show us where this location was. Lamar heard the voice from here. Give me that. Where am I? Oh god, am I? Okay, I hope I'm on it. Okay. This is Lamar, sorry. This is where Lamar heard that voice from. But that's no small window. That's the air vent. First she was just standing here. What did she tell us? She said she's She said she's a Borginian, unfamiliar with our language. It's not a stretch to imagine she called this air vent a small window. Now you've done it. You've gone beyond ridiculous and into ludicrous. So Lamar was up in the ventilation system listening to this man's voice? That's the only logical explanation, yes. Logical? I do not think this word means what you think it means, Hair Forehead! Okay, what about it isn't logical? It hardly merits saying! Why would Lamar be in the ventilation system? Hiding like a rat, no offense intended to her, of course! The explanation for that is simple, Prosecutor Gavin. Isn't it, Lamar? You've been listening to our discussion here, yes? Yes. I admit, it's had me quite confused since yesterday. Yes, the small window was closed. But why should that mean I could not hear through it? I feared our prosecutor might himself need an interpreter. The problem here is words. Lamar, the small window through which you heard the voice. Was it up high on the ceiling of the room, not low on a wall? Yes, it was up on the ceiling. What?! Order! I will have order! Oh. Witness, you will clarify the statement of the court. Are you, in fact, saying that you were up above the ceiling of the room? And that's where you heard the moment of the crime? Yes, in fact, I was. I am sorry, I never imagined it would become such an important point. Yes, well, why the heck were you up there? I believe it's time for another testimony. I'm not sure I can't. May I remind you this is a murder trial? We will hear your testimony. Tell us why you witnessed the crime from above the ceiling of that room. Please. Well, looks like I'm on the right track. Let's fucking go. Actually, I'm gonna take a really quick BRB. I am hungry. I'll be back. Wait, I need to mute myself. Alright. Nope, wrong one. Okay. I'm all fueled up, ready to go. Let's fucking go. Yes, when I was above the ceiling— oh, immediately fucked up. I was above the ceiling when I heard the voice. I had heard there was a small window there before. It was in the middle of my performance. I had no time to report what I had heard. As to why I was there, I cannot say. I am bound to secrecy on this matter. Bound to secrecy? In my line of work, one has many obligations to uphold. But you say you were in the middle of your performance. So this did happen during the second set. I did not witness the crime, you must understand. I only know what I heard. Yes, but you must tell us what you were doing in detail. That's what the cross-examination is for, yeah, your forehead? Our mission in this court is to discern the truth. No obligation, no binding pact may hinder that mission. Very well. Mr. Justice, you may begin the cross-examination. What are you going to do, Apollo? I'm gonna find out the truth. She was up above that ceiling for a reason. I just have to get it out of her. Smell the ceiling when I heard the voice. Small window. Middle of a performance, no time to report. Cannot say. Why? Exactly who bound you to secrecy? I'm not sure I'm allowed to say who it was. No, I think perhaps it is alright. It's just a name after all. It was Valiant Grammari. Perhaps you know him? Valiant Grammari? What? Do you mean Uncle Valiant? What? Valiant Grammari? Who's Valiant Grammari? A Grand Magician, the one responsible for the illusion performed during a concert. Interesting reaction, Prosecutor Gavin. Laura was bound to secrecy. It's gonna take some hard-hitting proof to make her talk. I think I know why she was up there, but how do we prove it? Yes, I was with the ceiling when I heard the voice. Oh wait, yeah. Above the ceiling? Could you be more specific? I cannot. Because you're bound to secrecy. Yes. To tell the truth, I was not supposed to even say I was above the ceiling. I dare not say more. It doesn't sound like I'll be able to coax it out of her just by asking. Small window. Let's just press, press, press. By small window, you mean the air vent? I only remembered I needed to be careful of where I put my hands and feet. I cannot see the light come— that's a tall vent. Are air vents usually that tall? Well, I guess you do need to, like, get in there to— or do you need to get in? I don't know how air vents work. Air vents to me are just, like, a thing of media. Also, yeah, it's a small window the size of a large window. I cannot see the light coming through the window, of course. The air vent grate could trip you up, certainly. So, I was walking very carefully when I heard the gunshots. They're not usually this big, okay. Excuse me. Startled, I crouched and listened. That is when I heard his voice coming from the room. Darian's voice. Though I wonder if maybe they're that big in concert halls, specifically. I knew something terrible had happened, yet... No Mormons. So, without a word, you just let the third set start? After the curtain closed for the second set, there was still much to do. You could have prevented this whole misunderstanding if you'd only told us sooner! Yes, perhaps I could have. I see little point in badgering the witness. What's done is done. The mind works differently when one is in the middle of a performance. Why, I've lost my voice in the middle of a show and kept on singing, completely unaware. Singing without a voice? Only all the contradictions were so obvious. If only I could get Lamore to talk. Pressuring her like this doesn't seem to be getting me anywhere. Stories there I cannot say. Why? You heard the gunshots during the second set during your performance. You're quite sure? Yes. Why would I lie about the time? Why didn't you tell us this yesterday? No one asked me. I thought you all knew. I told you Machi was not the killer. I told you this many times. Yes, you did. But you never told us why. I'm sorry. I was not able to speak of it. Unable or unwilling? She's not talking, Apollo. What do we do? We'll just have to prove it ourselves. As long as she's bound by this pact of silence, she won't talk. But if I can prove why she was up there, she'll have to admit it. But how are you going to do that? She was singing on the stage, Apollo. She couldn't have been up above the ceiling, too. Yes, she could. I got a theory as to why, too. And maybe I've got the evidence to prove it. Found a secrecy. Or hidden proof. I know I shows up where the how would I prove it? Okay, what do we have? Oh wait, I forgot that exit play it. No, wait, no, damn it. Is it here where she like disappears? I think it is. Here? I'm gonna get a fucking penalty. Oh, the music cut out. Lamar, truth be told, the reason for your presence above that ceiling is quite clear. Especially when you consider what happened during your performance. What happened? Yes. It's all right here on this video. You can see his guitar start to go up. Or maybe that's just like model weirdness, I don't know. No, yeah, that would have been long enough for it to like flame up. I do like the detail of the guitar goes from the song. As we can see, Lamar was clearly not on stage for her entire performance. Ah! Though it saddens me to be so realistic, Lamar is incapable of actually vanishing, let alone teleportation. So, the only explanation is that she was hidden from view. And during that time, she moved to the back of the forum. Apollo! What, Trucy? It's not nice to reveal witches and secrets, and it's against the rules! But I'm a lawyer, I'm not supposed to be nice! This is all very fascinating. But how is it possible? There is only 20 seconds between when she disappears and reappears. She couldn't have moved that fast. Is something wrong, Prosecutor Gavin? This was his concert, his show. He knows how the illusion was performed. Aha! He's just realizing his own oversight. Dipshit. Let's look at the cross-section diagram again. Here, we can trace a route through the ceiling. It goes from the stage to the backstage to the rear of the forum. Recall Lamar's testimony from yesterday. Free from the stage to the backstage exit. There's something like a little window there. That's how I saw it. She went from the stage to the backstage exit. A perfect description of this route above the ceiling. Lamar knew of this because of her part in the illusion. But she wasn't the only one who knew. What? Just now in the lobby, Machi told me something. I know of opening vent. I can leave stage and backstage. He said that?! Oh, were you not informed, Prosecutor Gavin? I knew about the Vanishing Act, of course. Yet I had no idea of the route that would be used. Why didn't that magician tell me? Magicians only reveal the details of their acts on a need-to-know basis. They're the bread and butter of a magician's life, you know. Which is why he bound Lamar to secrecy. Well, Lamar? I am impressed, Mr. Attorney. Machi was right about you. So, what does this mean? Are you saying you used this right above the ceiling? I did. Well, that's that, but I'm still a little confused. Why is that, Your Honor? As I said before. There was very little time between when she disappeared and when she reappeared. 20 seconds, tops. How could she do it so fast? Especially if she stopped to hear the shooter's voice. That's a good question. Can the witness explain this to the court? I cannot. Very well, Mr. Justice? Yes? It's all up to you. Do your thing. What thing, Your Honor? You need to explain how Lamar was able to teleport like she did. I'm throwing your case out with the bathwater. Why do I get picked on? It's Lamar who wasn't going along with the program here. As I've stated before, I'm not at liberty to speak of the illusion that night in detail. Then you'll just have to tell us what you can. We'll hear your testimony on this. Mr. Justice, it'll be your job to wring the truth out of her. Yes, if you would, please. Right. I feel like a student before finals. Good luck, Apollo! Tapping illusion. I followed the road exactly as I was instructed. There was an emergency exit in the backstage, where a stagehand waited. From there, one could enter the forum on the opposite side from the stage. The plan was for me to move there in 2 minutes. I was on my way when I heard the voice. Sorry. 2 minutes, you say? The mystery deepens. I suppose it was too much to hope that the judge would come up with something. That's just my curiosity. Hang on, sorry, my wires. Take it away, Mr. Justice. Right, Your Honor. All I have to do is find the contradiction between what Lamar is saying and what we can see plainly in the video. I figured it out already! I'm a magician after all. Well, tell me. Not a chance. I can't reveal another magician's secrets, come on! Hey, you're supposed to be on my side here! Let's go! Exactly as instructed. Let's exit. Hold it! 2 minutes? Yes, it can be done in 1 minute if you are running. Running? In that cramped, dark tunnel above the ceiling? Haha, Mr. Attorney, have you forgotten? Dark or lit, it makes no difference to me. Ah, that's true, but... So you're saying that on the night of the concert you made the trip in 2 minutes? Yes. No, I nearly didn't make it in time. You see, I stopped halfway. Lamar disappears on the video for 20 seconds. But she says she made the trip in 2 minutes. How? If you want my professional opinion, I'll bet the answer's right in front of video. Well, Mr. Justice? Perhaps you have some evidence for us? Something that can explain the discrepancy between the video and our testimony? Who's explaining the discrepancy? I mean, usually you're supposed to present. Explains the discrepancy between the video and testimony. Okay, well let me like watch the video again. Can't get enough of it. He's so fucking orange. I love the Discord record. I already mentioned it, but... Something changed in the video. Lamar, do you happen to remember this brooch? Aha! The brooch! We saw that yesterday, did we not? It was found at the scene, Your Honor. And you're bringing this up now. Why? I thought we had already determined that when that was dropped. So did I. But we hadn't. Take another look at the video. I already did. Here, you can see that she's wearing the brooch. I can't say that word. So she is. Let's look a bit later. What? The brooch! It's gone! What? Yes. The brooch disappeared in a short space of 20 minutes. Seconds, not minutes. It takes a full minute to run from the backstage to the backstage. Which means there can only be one explanation. The Lamar we see before the vanishing act was the Lamar we see after. Or two different people. What? The brooch was found on the floor at the crime scene. And not just on the floor, but on the floor directly beneath the air vent. Lamar, tell me. Did you drop the brooch on your way from the stage to the backstage? At the very moment you witnessed the crime? Yes, I think I did. Sorry, I'm yawning. Prosecutor Gavin! From your expression, I gather you had no idea this was the case, Sir Judge. I, of course, knew about it. What? Don't get me wrong, I wasn't hiding it. It just never occurred to me that the switch and the shooting took place at the same time. So, I was right? There was a switch? There was. Just before the stage's tower rose, Lamar was replaced. While we're on the subject, just who was his replacement Lamar? Why, the man in the illusion, Valiant Grammari. It was Grammari? That's quite the illusion, but I still don't get one thing. Yes? the switch happened before the tower rose, correct? So you weren't on the stage. That's right. But this fake Lamar is still singing. And she's pretty good! That's true! Come on, Apollo, that's an easy one! They were just playing a recording! Haha. The Governors aren't some kind of air guitar band, Fraulein. Oh, you mean I'm wrong? Excuse me. We play a show live. We play live. No recordings. Perhaps you can explain, Lamar? Very well. Yes, do tell. And add it to your testimony. That's hard as fuck. I had to keep singing even while I moved. The plan was for me to move there in 2 minutes. From there on, one can enter the forum on the opposite side of the stage. There's an emergency exit in the backstage where stagehand waited. We read this. Oh. Wait, what happened to that? Wasn't there a line about singing? Oh, there it is. Jeez. Alright, come on. You were singing? Yes. Mr. Gavin expressed a dislike for recordings, so I used this. Wait, so you were singing the whole time? Even when you were crawling above the ceiling towards the backstage? Why should it matter where I sing whenever where I go is the same darkness? The sword, the sing while moving. But if you were singing while you were walking... That's right, wouldn't the shooter and the victim have heard? She was singing right over their heads after all. That is right. Are you sure? You'd have to be pretty hard of hearing to miss someone singing in the ceiling. Once again, we come back to the stage of the scene of the crime. What state? Oh, state. Ah, I know what he means. That old speaker, Apollo. The speaker? That speaker was blaring at the time of the murder. That's monitoring the stage. Monitoring? Pipes a real-time feed. Useful for knowing when your set is coming out. Satisfied? That dressing room was fitted with a large speaker playing a direct feed from the stage. At my request, actually. So Lamar singing in the ceiling sounded just like Lamar singing over the speaker. There would be a double effect, but sure. Ingenious! Her voice was hidden by her voice! Ah. Lamar? I have just remembered something. Do tell. When I heard the noise, the gunshots, yes? It startled me, so I stopped singing. What? I forgot the words I was supposed to sing. The song stopped? Thankfully, it was the very beginning of the second verse, so not many would notice. Forehead! That mixing board I lent you, where is it? The mixing... huh? That machine, Apollo! The one that breaks music into tracks! Oh, this! I'd completely forgotten about it. Yeah, give me that toy! Let's take a listen. Can't touch it. Okay, this is a cutscene, I can't interact with it. They make you watch this so many times. Okay. The song does stop there! It does? I must have missed it. Look at the lyric sheet at the top of the second verse. See where it says pleasure, pleasure? Now listen again! It sounds better with a single pleasure. I think it sounds weird if it had two. This is evidence indeed. I believe we were guilty of making a terrible mistake. The crime didn't happen during the third set. It happened during the second, during Lamar's ballad. If that is true, then no one on stage during the second set could have been the shooter. Which means that Darian Crescent could have done it. He wasn't on stage for the second set. Well, Prosecutor Gavin? Fascinating. I don't believe I've ever seen a trial turned around quite so thoroughly. Yet one problem remains. What's that, Prosecutor Gavin? Everhood's theory does have a certain kind of logic to it. Yet it is entirely based on Lamar's testimony. Yes, is there a problem with this? Excuse me. Well, it's quite simple, though it pains me to say it. What if she is lying to protect the defendant? But you have no proof! All I'm saying is that the truth is as yet unclear. Until we hear directly from the man himself. The man... You don't mean... Yes. Though he is a friend and band member, Darian Crescent must take the stand. I see no other way. As someone with a new perspective on the case? As a suspect, to be frank. Get his ass. Finally! The rat's coming out of his hole! And I'm ready to catch him. Darian Crescent, get ready for justice! This is as good a time as any do rats live in holes? This is as good a time as any to pause for a brief recess. Prosecution will summon the witness. Have him here and ready by the time we begin. And the last man who needs to be reminded of what his duties are. Very well. Court is adjourned for a 15-minute recess. Wonder how much is left. I think I'll keep going. Because I feel like we're so close to the end. I feel like we're so close. Apollo, I can't believe it! It really happened during the second act? And right in the middle of Lamar's performance? Why she was in that air vent? Where am I? And that switch and the flaming guitar. When you only get all together, that's what you end up with. I knew you had what it took. Oh, it's Phoenix. Ah! Daddy! Mr. Wright! You believe in me? Not really. Huh? I just thought that'd make a cooler entrance than, say, hiya. Why do I even bother hoping? Where have you been lately, Daddy? You haven't been coming to the office at all! Ah, sorry about that, Trucy. I'm on a secret mission. Secret? You mean like you're undercover? Like Mr. Latouche, only shorter and not as well dressed. Oh no! What if you're shot too, Daddy? Don't worry, he won't fucking die. Would I do a thing like that to you? Anyway, I'm off for a while again. Huh? You're leaving? Oh, one thing before I go. What? Good luck. Right. Is that all you came to say? I think you have things pretty much under control. You'll get Machito by off the hook, no doubt. Yeah, but you're after that detective, aren't you? Darian Crescent. It won't be easy proving he did it. Especially not under the current court system. The current court system? What did Prosecutor Gavin say during the trial? Your case is based on one fragile assumption. Namely, that our Diva Divine is telling the truth. But what about all the proof? The brooch and the switch? That piece of jewelry and a lyrical blunder. There are plenty other ways to explain these things. The flaming guitar, too. All because you lack definitive proof of their connection to the case. But if the sultry songster is lying, your case melts like butter in a frying pan. Okay, hard-boiled egg. Leaving behind the faintly singed scent of failure. So what do I do? Like I said, good luck. And be aware that it will be impossible to prove his guilt by any conventional methods. Ugh. Oh, that reminds me. I have something to give you from our detective friend. Detective Sky. Emma? Let's see. It's like a snacks from it from me. Ah, here it is. What are those, Daddy? They don't look like very good snacking material. They were found at the scene. Analysis of the fragments revealed traces of gunpowder. Gunpowder? Probably a firecracker or something similar like the ones kids are into these days. Remember when kids would just bring those fucking things to school and slam them on the ground during recess? Or even just in the fucking... There were kids in my school that did that in the fucking building. Unbelievable. These fragments are found on the sofa at the scene of the crime, actually. Under the sofa? Hey, Apollo! That's where we found that little device thingy! Right, this. I don't remember what they're actually called, but it's just this... It's the, like, the ring of... It's like a red flower-shaped ring. And you just, like, throw it on the ground and it just goes pop, 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 pop. I think they're technically a small firecracker? Right, this. Well, finally, some evidence that makes sense. Burnt fragments. Does anybody understand what I'm talking about? It's all for me, I suppose. No, you mean, but they did not bring them to school. Oh yeah, kids at my school would just bring them to... They just bring them to school. I remember it caused a lot of problems. I don't remember what grade it was. It was probably... I think it was in elementary school. Like in grade 6, I think? That school was kind of lawless. So was my middle school. You know, that's all for me, I suppose. See you after the verdict, maybe. Right. Every man has an igniter inside him. Excuse me? Find Darren Christian's igniter. Set it off. Okay, bye. And he walked out the door, just like a magician, normally. What does he want us to do? No conventional methods? What does that mean? I guess we just have to take his advice and hope it makes sense when the time comes. I guess. That's what video games are. We're almost at the finish line. Hang in there, Trucy. Alright, let's fucking go. Excuse me. Court is now back in session. Prosecutor Gavin, where's Detective Crescent? In the witness lounge, ready to be called at any time. Very well. Might I add, I don't believe any of this. Darren was the first detective I ever worked with. We stopped working together when he moved to Criminal Affairs, Division 3. But his guitar playing fires my imagination. That's nice, but it has nothing to do with the matter at hand. Correct? Oh, I know. Your forehead. Cast your personal connections aside, Clavier. It's justice time. Very well. Call the final witness to the stand. Detective Darren Crescent. I hate looking at him so bad. Name and occupation, please. Darren Crescent. Detective, Criminal Affairs, Division 3. That's the International Affairs Division, for those of you who didn't know. And I'm a guitarist for the Governors. Maybe you've heard of us? Do you fully understand the circumstances under which you stand before us today? Yeah, I understand, Your Honor. What I don't understand is how you let this happen, partner! You gave me your word I wouldn't be standing here. The situation's changed, Darian. And don't call me partner. Ugh, so much for old friends. See what you're doing, Darian. You're pressing the prosecution. Your Honor, if we could begin the trial. Yes, it's time we did. Let's clear your testimony. Here. You may begin with the response to Lamar's testimony. If, in fact, you have anything to say about it. Oh, I got plenty to say. Lying must be a national pastime in Borginia. Wherever you're from, Mr. Justice. Ha! Conventional methods are out of the window, huh? Here goes nothing. Here comes justice. Here comes justice. The diva's lying, plain and simple. She's got nothing to back up her story. In the first place, she never heard my voice. She forgot the words because she heard gunshots? As if. Did Detective Emma Skye hear those gunshots during the third set, anyway? The shooting took place when I was on stage, man! So you claim Lamar's testimony was a lie? Hey, don't get me wrong, I dig what she's doing, trying to protect that kid. She's got the coordinating vague statements out of her hand just because she's blind. Be nice. You go too far, Darian. Look, all I'm saying is, you got a reliable witness. Why not listen to the detective? Detective Sky? I see. Mr. Justice, you may begin the cross-examination. I didn't waste any time finding our weak spot. I can't do this with Lamar's testimony alone. I love how everybody just keeps forgetting that Apollo himself heard those gunshots, and he's still opposing to it being in the third set. Like, he was there. I know that you need, like, evidence, but, like, come on. I'll have to find some other way to prove when the shooting took place. Dia's line, plain simple. Nothing back of her story. It's probably just a press one. You never talked to her even though you were playing in the same concert? Not a word as far as I can recall. But weren't there planning sessions or something? Gavin took care of all that himself. Darian wasn't involved in any of the meetings with her. Ugh. As if you can just go around remembering everyone's voice like that anyway. Only an idiot would believe that! Yeah, totally. It's not like I'm cursed. Lamar's hearing is very sensitive. She could remember him if she heard him, I'm sure of it. I just can't prove it. And I need proof. Yeah, so did I. Actually, I was there too. So I hear. Which means you heard them too, right? The gunshots. Yes. We heard gunshots. Neither I nor Emma actually saw the shooting, mind you. I guess you and Lamar got the same excuse then. We know one thing for certain here. There were gunshot-like sounds that emanated from that room during the third set. What we must determine is whether those sounds are actually gunshots. How'd you hear them too? Remember he said he ran for the air duct when he heard them? So, how did we figure out just what those gunshots during the third set were? Just put us on that stage, man. That could have been what the shooter wanted us to think. I'll tell you what the shooter, that kid, wants you to think. He wants you to think the diva heard me in that room. Ah, I'm back to relying on Lamar's testimony! As much as I am enjoying the Darian and Forehead show, there is no need for such tempers. Don't make us into some comedy duo! So is the Gavin and Darian shows cancelled? Neither of your claims can be proven, or disproven. We could argue for days like this and get nowhere. Professor Gavin is quite right. This court will hear no further discussion to the topic without new facts. New facts, huh? He's pretty eager to paint Lamar as a liar, isn't he? Yeah, because her testimony is basically her entire case. This is tough, so what do we do? Got a few ideas. I just need to find another way to prove it didn't happen the way, when he says it did. You don't have any proof she was lying. Oh yeah, kid? You saying I lied? No, I'm just saying, Apollo, glare back at him! I couldn't help it, I flinched by reflex. Just half questioned. Yeah? What do you want? Nothing. Apollo, chin up, back straight, you're welding! This guy's hard as nails! He makes Walkie look downright cooperative. Look, there's no way that diva remembers my voice. What's that? What do you have hanging out? I think the only thing about the third set we have is that Darian bungled his thing. Do I represent this? No, look at it. No, it is just like a cracker. I mean, if it's something Phoenix gave us, we're probably not supposed to use it yet. pretty eager to paint Lamar as a liar, isn't he? Yeah, because testimony's basically our entire case. This is tough. So what do we do? Got a few ideas. I mean, I guess the worst that happens is I get a penalty. You heard something. Objection! Okay, well... Some things were found at the crime scene after yesterday's trial. What things? The first was this small device. That's the remote-triggered igniter. Correct. And one more thing. What are those? The remains of something burnt? Not under the guitar, I hope. Excuse me. Blech. Traces of gunpowder were found on these fragments. We have a report that it was something like a firecracker. Eh? How did Gavin know about this? What? You think Detective Skye works for you? I received the report this morning before coming here. That's when I made my decision, actually. What decision is this, Prosecutor Gavin? I registered Darian as a witness in today's trial. Just in case. This raises another possibility. Those gunshot-like sounds during the third set could have been two firecrackers ready to go off our remote control. We did find an igniter under the thing. The thing being the sofa. You got an active imagination, don't you? But you shouldn't say every little thing you think. Your explanation there seems a bit too convenient to me. How so? So, you're saying these firecrackers just happened to go off right when two witnesses came walking by? Huh. That's right! That fucking, what the fuck? The, like, headset was in the hallway, though. Darian was out on stage when it happened, Apollo. How would he know someone was backstage right then? If a firecracker goes off in the forest and there's no one there to hear. You get my drift? Why go through the trouble, man? How do I explain this? You may not look it, but Darian is a gifted detective. Show any weakness and he's sure to find it. You may not look it, partner? Gee, thanks, man. That reminds me. I happened to pass through that very hallway several times that day myself. And I saw something odd there just before the third set. Something odd? A headset. The kind of all the band and staff members were wearing. Yeah! That's right! We picked this up in front of the door to that dressing room. What if that headset wasn't dropped but placed? And what if it was turned on? You could hear what was going on in that hallway. Even if you were on stage. That's mad distracting. Whose side are you on, Gavin? Listen to me, Darian. There are no sides in a court of law. Which is why I now turn to you, Hair Forehead. I have a question for you. Huh? For me? The igniter and the burnt fragments that were found at the scene of the crime. It's certainly a possibility that they were part of a ruse to fake the sound of gunshots. Throw the headset from the hallway into the mix and you can fabricate an alibi. But we're still no closer to proving anything. Those gunshots might have been real or fake. We can't say. Ugh. You've raised the possibility that the gunshots heard during the third set were faked. Now you need to prove the other half of the case. The other half? Look, I'll just tell him. He wants you to prove the thing went down in the second act. While their little piano player was on stage. That right, Gavin? Indeed. If you can't prove that, then to continue this cross-examination would be pointless. Well, Mr. Justice? Can you prove the crime took place during the second set? Yeah, I think. You better know, Apollo, otherwise we're through! It can be proven! You make it sound like someone else is going to come along and do it for you. No testimony? This isn't gonna be easy. I need some decisive proof and fast. You ready, kid? 'Cause I am. So sure, let's see your proof. Oh, that's all he said. I keep forgetting that, like, the way that they add testimony to existing testimony. Damn it! Fuck. So sure, let's see your proof. I mean, the only thing we haven't implicating Darian as something is him fucking up. Okay. Seems there was a clear proof left behind. Right here on Lamar's test song. Biting my hand. Her song? What exactly is this device thingy? We brought it up before! New variety of gramophone, perhaps? How old is he? The judge's like age jokes are so fucking... Like, how old are you? We just use this. Don't get me started on gramophone. This device was used to record the performance part by part. Part? You have the sliders to adjust the volume. Each instrument is adjustable separately, Lamar's voice included. Oh-ho! But what does this prove? According to Lamar's testimony, at the moment of the shooting, she forgot the words of the song. Ah. You intended to examine the recording at that moment, yeah? Would the microphone pick that up? It's right. It's one of those headsets that's like right to her face. You might even hear those gunshots, maybe so. Exactly. Ha! Ridiculous. God, his stupid hair. How are we supposed to hear gunshots back in that dressing room and on stage? Have you forgotten, Darian? We were all wearing these headsets. Oh. We're all deeply involved in her performance. But Lamar's headset would have picked up what she heard all the same. Isn't the headset being able to pick up background noise like a problem for a recording? Whatever, man. Right now! Or stop singing when you hear the gunshots fired. Find a spot and we'll find the gunshots. Okay. Which one's the vocal? This. Found it. I did it. How do I present this? Yes. Okay, let me open the guide. How the fuck do I present this? Oh, I see. No. Do you have to click the part? Fuck. Isn't it just a track? Yeah, I guess. But I want it to be the second one. Fuck. No. Okay. Listen closely to this part. This is the track with Lamar's vocals. Oh, okay. That's really confusing, alright. I did hear something faintly there, yes! Oh my god, I feel like I'm gonna sneeze. No! Why? It sounded like a gunshot! What?! This has to be some kind of mistake! God, I hate his hair. I believe the case has been made. Gunshots were heard during the second set. Which means Lamar's testimony was true. Ah! Order! So, she was telling the truth about what she heard? It was the other man speaking, not Mr. Detus. What did he say? It's over. Press the switch now. We weren't on stage during the second set. You could have done it. My headphones are falling off. Sorry. But why did we only hear one gunshot in the recording? Weren't 2 bullets fired from this weapon? Lamar was moving through the air vents, Your Honor. She must not have been close enough for her mic to catch this first shot. But then, as she passed over the dressing room... Excuse me. The gun fired again and Miss O'Too's life was taken. Well, Detective Crescent? Once again I am reminded of something. Meh? A performance that day. A performance? Seeing the mixing board jogged my memory. You were there too, Hair Forehead. He's all angry. Problem after problem. My heart won't start. My guitar is busted. Someone's dead. It's that performance. It sucked ass. Second guitar. Darian! I thought it strange at the time. How could you miss such a simple cue? I know you. I know how you play. You're better than that. Yeah, well, You what? Prosecutor Gavin, what are you getting at? Ooh, clappy, yeah. I'm talking about the murder weapon, Miss Lotus's 45 caliber hand cannon. As we have learned, even the shooter doesn't go unscarred from a revolver that size. The kickback is enough to dislocate your shoulder if you're an amateur. Wait, you mean his playing was affected because he hurt himself shooting that revolver? Why do they... I know that there's no point like questioning why people have guns, but like really, why do we need something that can dislocate your shoulder? Guns are so pointless, I hate them. Ha! You're forgetting something. Yes, Detective Crescent? I am a trained police officer, you know. I've had firearms training, plenty of it. I'm no amateur. The standard sidearm is issued to police officers as a 38 caliber weapon. Much tamer beast. Also, the murder weapon belonged to the victim, Mr. Latouche, which suggested there was a struggle between the killer and the victim. So, the killer might not have been holding the revolver correctly when he fired. Is that what you mean? The thought had occurred to me, yes. Well, does the witness have anything to say to this? Detective Question! What I want to ask is what Mr. Sleeves rolled up ready for action has to say. Hey, you, attorney. Me? Exactly which piece of your evidence is decisive again? You got a little noise on a tape that could be anything. And you have an alleged guitar cue missed due to a 45 caliber kickback. I weep for this case, Gavin, I really do. You can line up your little weak pieces of evidence all you want. I didn't shoot that manager. And that's the obvious truth. The witness has a point. The defense's arguments, while persuasive, are not decisive. I believe we should hear what the witness has to say in response to the case so far. Your testimony, please, Detective Crescent. Tell us your reasons why you couldn't have done it. I don't even want to kill that manager. You want a reason? Easy. I got no motive, man. This was that diva's first trip to this country, right? How could I possibly know her manager? If I didn't know him, why would I want to kill him? You work with Interpol, or whatever. Well, no, he doesn't work with Interpol, he just, like, is in international affairs, so there is a connection there. Prosecutor Gavin, is it the case that Mr. Latouche has not been in the country before? According to our records, yes, not even once. I see. Very well. Mr. Justice, you may begin the cross-examination. Great. Now I need to find a motive. Where do we want to kill a manager? Where am I? Got no motive, man. Where I want to kill him. You sure about that? What? What? Wipe that look off your face before I do it for you. Listen, you try throwing out one of your wild accusations, I'll throw it back at you so hard you'll forget what you're accusing of what. Your forehead, perhaps it's best if you let your evidence do the talking, yeah? Man, what evidence? That's what I want to know. So, he's using his motive question as an ammunition, huh? Well, I've got ammunition too. Evidence. Fuck. the motive? How... I don't want to kill him. What the fuck do we have? No. Well, that's... Why isn't there like segment of floor in the court record? I mean, there's this fucking thing. Let's present the plastic. Fuck it. Okay. Your Honor, take a look at this. What's that? Looks like candy. It does look pretty delicious. It looks like a fucking, gobstopper. Is that the right word? Yeah, they're the huge gumballs. It's not. Don't lick it, please. Detective Crescent. Ever seen this? Looks like a piece of candy. What was that? Oh, what it is evidence. Don't lick it before you try it. I would eat it. It looks like either a marshmallow or a gobstopper. Specifically, this is a replica of a cocoon. It was found among the victim's belongings. A cocoon? Never seen one that color. Here's a... It is a variety only found in the Republic of Virginia. Did we ever, like... Did they ever say what the fuck it is? They say cocoon, and I assume it's, like, the thing what bug go inside? But is that what the fuck it is? Nowhere else. Alright, but what is this cocoon replica doing in my courtroom? Surely this has nothing to do with the motive for killing Mr. Latouche. Does it? It does! Wait, I mean, I think it does. Hang on, wait. You don't sound so confident, man. A cocoon. Is it one of those silky cocoons? Kind that you can make, well, silk out of? Not this one. This cocoon makes a powerful curative. I guess it is a silk cocoon. A curative? For what? Apparently, it is most I'm assuming that's a variant of efficient. It is most efficacious at treating a disease thought incurable. It is the only medicine of its kind. However, it is illegal to take one of these healing cocoons out of Virginia. Whatever for? If it's such a miracle cure, why not share it with the world? Yeah, that's what I've been wondering! We looked into the matter at some length. Apparently, it isn't difficult at all to manufacture the remedy from the cocoon. Yet, if you change the process only slightly, you can easily make a large quantity of something else entirely. A deadly poison, in fact. What?! There was an incident several years ago when some of these got out into the black market. I cannot tell you how to say that phonetically, but that was not right, unfortunately. Okay, yeah, it's fine. I assume it's just like word for it, good at it. It caused quite the commotion in the global community, though the media was kept largely unaware. Intriguing. All this has led to a strict ban on the cocoon's export. One rigidly enforced by Interpol, among others. Interpol? Right! The victim, Romain Latouche, was an Interpol agent. Detective Crescent, you insist on referring to him as a manager. Excuse me. But that is misleading. Romain Latouche wasn't killed as a manager. He was killed as an undercover agent. So I was trying to smuggle this gumball into the country? That what you're trying to say? I'm saying that could well be a motive for murder. Oh, so I was going to sell it on the black market, make myself a pretty penny? Ridiculous. I mean, totally unthinkable. Unthinkable, you say? Why? What? The smuggling of cocoons business. Cocoon smuggling. International Affairs got a memo with these cocoons. Interpol's all hot and bothered about them. Can't sell them on the black market. Too dangerous. Yeah, cocoon smuggling ain't really lucrative anymore. Man, I'm in International Affairs! I know the deal! Which means you'd also know the deal about how to do it! Interpol wanted these cocoons bad enough to send Mr. Latouche undercover. You kids think up the craziest things. But no way am I gonna risk life and limb just to get my hands on some dirty cocoon money. Not the most noble of statements, but duly noted. According to reports, these cocoons top Interpol's list. Selling them to an underground organization would be risky. Very well, you may begin the cross-examination. This is the only motive I've got. It was up to something, and I'm gonna find out what. Okay. Which is why you know how to find a loophole in the system. Hey! You can say what you want about me, but back off of international affairs. There ain't no loopholes, okay? What do you think we are, Boy Scouts? That wasn't what I was trying to... Down, Darian. It's as you say. There are no loopholes, at least in the case of these cocoons. International affairs, Interpol, and Borginian customs are all watching. See? We know what we're doing. Not like some yipping little doggies that lap up every word that Diva says. Don't be a fucking misogynist. Wow! Out of what? You want some of this? Chill, both of you. Let's do this cool, yeah? Ah, screw cool! I want this guy's head on a stick! The replica has to be the key to this motive. There's gotta be a way to find out what he was up to. Oh, excuse me. Oh, sorry. What do we have? I mean, those are only the... Oh, I can look at it. This would be the other thing having to do with like the cocoon and the burning and the everything of it. But... Wait... Is that the point that they mention it? No, he's just like, oh, I don't do it. Alright, let's just press. But wouldn't scarcity drive up prices? Yeah, and detention. Every gangster and his brother would want a piece of that action. They'd turn your forehead into Swiss cheese before you could say objection. Maybe we could get them to cut his hair, too. Who's on trial here again? Man, you so obviously know nothing about the market. And that's a bad thing? Don't even try to mess with me about this stuff. Dangerous? Yeah, Interpol finds you, they arrest you on the spot. Or another marketeer might think you're part of a sting and take you out himself. Times have changed. Okay. Doing this in reverse. So there are other Interpol agents like Mr. Latouche? All over the world, likely. Deep undercover, most of them. That's why these cocoons are too hot for the black market. You don't want Interpol sniffling through your wares. Most came to the conclusion that... Yeah, sell them. Fuck. Alright, let me look at the guide. I don't know what to do. Oh. Wait, no, that's the wrong thing. Yeah, okay, it was what I thought it was. Not that one.
Objection!
Why not choose a less dangerous buyer then? I would. How clueless are you? Everyone in the market's dangerous. The second they found out I was a cop, I could kiss my keister goodbye. Keister. Why sell to a black market buyer? How about someone like this? That article. That's about the Chief Justice's... A deadly poison can be extracted from the cocoon. But so can a cure. And not a cure for just any disease. A cure for incuritis. So stupid. Incuritis? I've heard of that somewhere. You went to visit a victim of the disease this morning! Ah! Why, that's the disease the Chief Justice's son has! You weren't saying... Our witness is a detective. He would've... Just so... I understand, like, banning the smuggling of the raw material itself, but, like, if you know it can create a cure, why are you not just manufacturing the medicine and importing that? And having people that, like, know how to make it not poison? Is it so dangerous that, like, it's just not worth making a cure out of it? So you just ban the raw material and don't even try, and then force people to have to try? Out of desperation? Whatever. Is there... Whatever. You were saying the Chief Justice would never... the Chief Justice would never deal in contraband. Not even to save his own son's life? But even if the deal went through, why, it'd be an international scandal! That's Detective Crescent's insurance. If word ever got out, the one with his neck on the line would be the Chief Justice. Detective Crescent, is this true? First I'm a murderer and now I'm a smuggler? How many crimes are you trying to pin on me anyway? Distasteful as it is to think about if the Chief Justice were the buyer. Why, a seller couldn't hope for a better deal. A very cowardly seller. Don't let sleeves over there trick you. So I made this deal with the Chief Justice? Where's your proof? Well... Oh yeah, and you're forgetting one other important thing. Do tell. Interpol isn't the only ones out there watching this. Borginian Customs barely sleeps, they're so worried about cocoons getting out. So we were informed. Let's continue with the cross-examination. Very thorough. Everything and everyone is checked. Just how strict is the customs check? Way strict. They keep planes on the ground for hours. I do recall it being a bit extreme. They were even confiscating gumdrops and marshmallows. Yes, it would be hard to distinguish them. That's right, Kevin was in Borginia, wasn't he? I remember setting off the metal detector several times. I had to practically strip naked to walk through. Dude, here's a travel trip for you, Gavin. Leave the bling at home, you glimmer spot. Okay. Imposition will get you arrested on the spot and then sentenced to death. Is this a new testimony? No. Oh wait, no. Maybe. Alright, let's just keep grooving. That's pretty extreme. Borginia has this rep as an idyllic, laid-back place. Truth is, they're beyond hardcore with security. The Republic of Borginia is a peaceful, pleasant country. So this level of security shows us how truly concerned they are about the cocoons. That's the situation. Hey man, if there's a way to cocoons out of there, I'd sure like to know. Why? You're in a position to know quite a bit about smuggling. Yeah, I need to know a bit for work, sure. But all we get are reports on the failed smuggling ops. Not exactly something you want to go copying. Okay, then you make a list of mistakes not to make! But if you want, I can tell you a few of them. Maybe you'll succeed and get rich. I would be interested in hearing, purely from a legal perspective, of course. I would prefer a judicial system. The replica has to be the key to the... Yeah. Fuck, it's so long now. Must be something in here. Fuck. I mean, I think the only item that we know came from Virginia, other than, like, anything the characters were wearing, but I don't think it'd be the brooch, is, the guitar that Gavin was given? Eh.
Objection!
Hey. Actually, there is one way. What? One way to get something into the country, no checks. What is it? You become a prosecutor. Oh, that's right, I forgot he told us how he got his guitar. A prosecutor? I don't believe it! Believe it, Prosecutor Gavin. Believe it! What was it that you told me yesterday at your office? Beautiful instrument, displayed lovingly. Anything a woman like a are. How did it appear? Quick care to the plane. Air portions are hidden in the wood, vacuum packed it, Nora's studio. Special shipping service available to me for transporting evidence. What a fucking abuse of power. Brought it right up to my office. Pristine and untouched. Did I get that right, Prosecutor Gavin? That seems busted. Untouched. Is that real? Probably. Quite. The guitar was wrapped in several sheets and vacuum packed in Virginia. The pack was untouched until the day of the concert. Are you saying that guitar was... with cocoons this small? It would have been very easy to use a guitar as a mule to smuggle a cocoon to Virginia. How big is it? I keep imagining the cocoon as being like palm-sized, but it's probably like... very small. I don't know why I thought it was so fucking huge. We did see it in the environment. That doesn't usually mean anything. What? Which reminds me, Prosecutor Gavin. That guitar had some work done on it recently, right? Work? Good memory, hair forehead. Guitars have a round hole in the front. It's called the sound hole. Found something attached to the wood just inside the hole. A broken device of some sort. Excuse me. An igniter! Exactly. Consider this, if you will. What if that igniter wasn't the only thing that was attached inside your guitar? You mean... He means this, of course. Ah! There was a way to get a cocoon out of the country. They could use picking Prosecutor Gavin's privileged guitar as a mule. And you better do that than someone with access. Like a member of the band. York! York! Order, order, order! So the igniter was placed in there for a clear reason, it seems. It was a safety precaution. A precaution? Ah, your forehead. At last, it all comes together. Every strange thing that happened that day. Care to review? Maestro, the gentle sounds of Lamar's ballad, if you please. First, my keys were stolen. A harmless misdemeanor, which forced me to break the lock on my guitar case. The key was stolen to retrieve the cocoon from the guitar. I see. But things didn't go so well. The smuggler wasn't counting on the guitar being wrapped. Only a member of the band could get near the case. Unwrapping the guitar would raise too many suspicions. Then the concert began. Right about this time, a very large problem presented itself to the smuggler. What's that? Mr. Latouche. Ah. Mr. Latouche, an undercover agent, was onto something. He would have known about the guitar. He'd only have to check the shipping records. So, Mr. Latouche tried to examine the guitar himself. If the cocoon were confiscated then, the gig would be up. The only thing left for the smuggler to do was to get rid of the whole lot. It's over, press the switch now! The guitar burst into flames, and the cocoon was lost. And then... Mr. Latouche died, with Lamar there to witness it. There's your case. Brilliant, man. The detective questioned. I gotta know, you make all that up on the fly? For a made-up story. Makes a great deal of sense, Darian. The Republic of Virginia? Sorry, man, but I haven't even been there. True, you haven't. Ha! Let's see you make up a story for that, kid. How'd I hide the cocoon in the first place, huh? It's not so hard to imagine. You had help, a Virginian accomplice. That's all. That you had an accomplice was clear from the start. The voice Lamar heard proves it. Yeah. You made this transmission from backstage, while your co-conspirator was on stage. But who was it? This is it! Coup de grace! And for once, I know what I'm doing. There's only one person who could have helped him. Let's hear what Mr. Justice has to say, then. But be warned. With a great accusation comes great responsibility. Make up your answer on fly, as it were, and you'll be harshly penalized. Are you ready, Mr. Justice? Who was the smuggler's accomplice? Nachi, probably. Oh, he's 14. I forgot how young he was. There's only one person who meets by to half your health. And the person is the defendant, Machi Tobai. But Mr. Justice, he's your client. A defense attorney accusing his client? That's a new one. It's not, actually. I assure you, no one is more unhappy about this than I. But I am here to defend him in the murder of Mr. Latouche. And I stand by my statement earlier that he is innocent of this particular crime. Indeed, the defendant is Borginian. He does meet the basic requirements to be the accomplice. But what if it was, in fact, Lamar? It couldn't have been. Well, you seem sure of yourself. The reason is electronic signals, Your Honor. Electronic signals? Recall that this remote only works to a range of 30 feet. Beyond that, it's useless. Yes, that's true. Now, think back to the testimony. When the shooter made his transmission, Lamar was in the air vent. Right above the dressing room where the shooter stood. Let's look at the stage diagram. This is the area that the remote could reach from the air vent. Sorry, excuse me. Well, looking at this, it seems that Lamar still could have done the deed. No. When the shooter made that transmission, the stage was slightly different than shown here. It was in the middle of the guitar serenade. So I didn't realize it was auto-playing. She was real high up there. In other words, the remote couldn't have worked from Lamar's position in the air vent. Ah! Well, Detective questioned? What do you have to say? Your Honor. Yes, Detective? Can we see the video where Gavin's guitar burns? Just one more time. Well, I don't see why not. Why? Don't tell me he has a way ahead of this. Yeah, that's clearly a spark. Too bad, so sad. Punk. Punk? First you were sleeves, then kid, now punk. You're losing rank fast, Apollo. What exactly were we supposed to see in this video? Problem isn't in what we see, correct, Darian? Right, it's what you hear. We are musicians, after all. Care to explain for us non-musicians? Sure thing, punk! Let me get your yarn straight first. You're saying I ordered the wee pianist to set off that igniter? That right? Yes. Well, in order to do that, he'd have to press a switch. Am I right? Okay. Well, take another listen. Pay attention to the piano. Piano? Seems to be the problem there. The piano sounded just fine. And that's the problem, man. You still don't get it? Ah. Yeah, how is he supposed to hit that switch if he's playing? You got Miss Diva, the guitar, the bass, the piano, and the drums. The only one with her hands free was the Diva. No more. But according to you, she couldn't have been the accomplice, could she? Irk. Your accomplice would have had the hard time helping out. If they couldn't even press a switch. I mean, we saw it was a little handheld thing. Can we strip it down again? Piano plays non-stop. Does he need both hands? It also sounded like there was a small pause just before it goes up. He couldn't have pressed the switch. Well, Mr. Justice? The piano does seem to be playing when the car catches fire. But, well, it's okay. We all make mistakes sometimes. Apollo, were you wrong? I can't be wrong! Everything makes perfect sense! Kind of. How could it all just... Strange. What's strange? No, it's just... Something's odd about the performance there. Odd? Let's strip it down, baby! Machi didn't press that switch. Then he could not be the accomplice you claim he is. But everything points to it! Every fact says he's the accomplice! You got the facts wrong, man! Here's some facts for you. Gavin's guitar is on fire. But the pianist didn't press that switch. In other words, your story's full of holes. Mr. Justice, let's hear your final opinion on this matter now. Was the defendant, Machi the accomplice? Your answer will reflect on everything you've said here. Give it some thought. Apollo, if Machi's not the accomplice, then our whole case is ruined. I know that. It just has to be him. He was the only one who could have helped the smuggler. He has to have pressed that switch. Well, you better find a way to prove it. Ah! What do I do? What do I do? There has to be something that doesn't fit. Something odd. Something odd. Wait a second. What? You just thought of something? What was Gavin saying just now? I don't need a flashback. Ah. It's not much to go on, but it's all I've got. What exactly did he hear that was odd? Have you come up with something, Mr. Justice? May I remind you that everything rests on this. Can you prove Machi pressed that switch? Maybe. Let's hear your final answer. Can you prove that Machi pressed that switch? Sure. I don't know if you call this proof per se, but I can prove it was possible. Then, as a prosecutor, it falls on me to ask you to show us evidence of supporting this. Her forehead, you're sure about this? Ah, accept it. There's no evidence, man. I figure I'm stripping out the thing again. Right? Yeah. Oh, fuck, where is it? This. No. I love so much just saying, like, yes, I can prove it. Oh good, the music stopped. The basics for my claim is music, Your Honor. Music? What about music? Let's listen to the piano part around the time when the switch has to be pressed. Right before the guitar bursts into flame. Fuck. Oh, shit. Okay, he does it. Yeah, there's a brief pause. I hear a piano being played. But, doesn't it sound kind of simple? It is also pretty... It sounds one-handed, yeah. Simple? I think I know what he's suggesting. You think Machi could have played that part with one hand? One hand? You only needed one hand to press that switch. He could play the piano with the other. Ha! What, so you're some kind of piano savant? Actually no. Then what do you know? You can't play a part like that with one hand. Maybe... I don't know what I'm talking about here. I mean, the Switch does look handheld, so you could just, like, plink certain keys with, like, your pinky or whatever while hitting the Switch. Wait, I know! Oh, that's Awalo speaking. Trucy! Yeah? You got something? Mr. Wright, your father, he's a pianist. Could he... Oh, Daddy? He couldn't play a part like that even if he had 3 hands. So sorry. So sad for you. No, not really. Huh? That was just the easy way to prove it. There's always the hard way. Man, how are you gonna prove something? Prove whether he played it with one hand or two? Bring the piano in and get him to do it? You can't! I admit it will be rather difficult to prove. But it's highly likely he was playing with one hand. How do you know that? The clue was what Prosecutor Gavin described as sounding odd. What sounded odd? I'll bet we can tell by listening to a certain part of the song. What? No way! Sorry. So much just to say. Shows the part that proves the defendant was playing with one hand. Oh fuck. Right before the guitar burst into flame. Definitely playing one-handed just before the guitar hit fire. One section of the song proves it. Fuck. No. No. I don't know, that's such an underhanded. He kind of stops though. It's a beautiful song, and the lyrics are outstanding. Excuse me. I'll take that to mean there was no problem with this section at all. Wait, so what was the odd thing Gavin heard? The switch was pressed in the first half of the second verse, right? I know! I just need to find a place to compare to that! Oh, okay. If you'll give me one more chance, I think I can find it. Don't have a choice. Very well. Okay, let's just listen to it. Sure you realize by now just what it was that sounded odd to you. As I'm sure you've also realized it yourself, Hair Forehead. Realized what? I'll demonstrate. Let's listen to this part in the question again, shall we? Pay particular attention to the but fleeting melody phrase. Yeah, it kind of just stops. Man, how many times do you have to listen to the same thing? You're right. Enough of that. Eh? Let's listen to another section, shall we? Another section? The guitar bursts into flame at the end of the second verse. Let's listen to the same spot in the first verse. Pay attention to "Oh That Night in Your Embrace." Yeah, there's more going on. Play the verse 2 again! They feel the same, true. But they're clearly very different. What? Well put, Your Honor. The phrase in verse 2 is quite simple. But the same phrase in verse 1 has high and low notes. You'd have to use 2 hands to play that for sure. Ah! What's that prove? I would think you'd know that by now. This is why I hate dealing with amateurs, man. So the 2 verses had different arrangements. Happens all the time. Not this time, Darian. There's no point in changing an arrangement if you can't hear it clearly. And that wasn't the point. I had him play specifically so that the piano would stay in the background. Oh. That was what I noticed. Why should the same phrase sound slightly different? I asked myself. Now ask yourself why Machi changed how he played, and there's only one way answer. He needed a free hand in order to press a switch. I love the way that they like type out their cot noises. Or their hell noises. I'm always thinking about Edgeworth like, Goog! It's good. I believe that ties all the facts together. Well, Prosecutor Gavin? Yes, quite. Though, personally, this comes at a terrible disappointment. What? No comeback? Can't believe it! I finally did it! I shut him up! Yeah, but Goog. Very well. Barring an objection from the prosecution, I will now state the court's opinion on this matter. Good show, Sleeves. No, great show. No, great show! It's not over. I don't like it when he looks so happy. You tell him, Gavin. Tell him what's so disappointing. Yeah, the transcription noises are really good. Personally, I'm terribly disappointed. In you, Hair Forehead. Huh? Me? Yes. Don't get me wrong, your case is solid. The facts all check out, but even so, you have yet to show us a single piece of decisive evidence. Yeah, but the facts! Anyone can see what was him! Unfortunately, anyone does not include the law. I'm afraid your case doesn't cut it. But 1,000 facts might point towards the same conclusion. But without decisive evidence, it's not proof. That's the rule under our current legal system. I don't believe it! It does not seem as though the defense has any more evidence to present. Oh, I think if we did, we already would have seen it a long ways back. It is unfortunate. But at present, this court is unable to acknowledge your accusation. What? The truth is staring us all right in the face. Why can't they see it? What's the point of being a legal system that protects criminals? Apollo, remember what Daddy said? Won't be easy proving he did it. Not under this court system. Set him off. Light him up. I wonder what he means by every man's igniter. I think he just means a weak spot, no? The kind of thing that's a single spark could turn into a wildfire of emotion. I won't be able to press him further by conventional means. I've got to find a weak spot in this guy. Something fatal. So, can I get back to work now, or what? It may look like I got a lot of time on my hands. But I got no more time to play pretend with this deadweight attorney. Well, Mr. Justice? We've come this far without decisive evidence. This witness won't be coming back to the stand once we let him go. Every man has an igniter. Huh? Didn't you say the better the guitar, the brighter it burns, Prosecutor Gavin? Ah, yes. Good guitars are kept dry, is why. Is that... I guess that makes sense. That provides the best sound. What the fuck was that? Oh, it was just... okay. Sorry, a crow flew by my window, but it was like, what the fuck is that? Even a small spark could cause irreparable damage. Your plan has an igniter in it too, Detective. It was there from the very beginning. What? Fighting time, Justice! If you blow this one, he'll be out of your hands for good. Go for it, Apollo! What? And this igniter's supposed to come burn me up? That's almost poetic there, Mr. Attorney. All the better. I'm rather fond of poetry. And I intend to hear this one through to the very end. Our forehead. You are accusing this man, Darian Crescent, of 2 crimes. The murder of Mr. Latus and the smuggling of a Virginian cartoon. Cocoon. This is your last chance to prove your case. Went on for far too long. Mr. Justice, this will be my last warning. The moment this igniter of yours turns out to be a dud is the moment this cross-examination ends. Understood? Yes, Your Honor. Then let's have it. Show us the basis of these accusations against Darian Crescent. Okay, this is really my last chance. The key that will take apart Darian Crescent's plan is... Call a witness. We gotta get... What? God. We gotta get Machi out here. Machi, come testify. It's true that I couldn't show decisive evidence. But perhaps what I needed to prove my case was something else. You mean a witness? Sorry. I keep yawning. Proving his guilt is a tall order. But I've got just the person to do it. Very well, Mr. Justice. Who is this person who can prove Darian Crescent's guilt? Machi. Bring out the child. The one person who can prove Darian Crescent's guilt is the defendant, Machi Tobai. Your client? Again? God, he's like... Darian's hair is like so long in the back. Machi Tobai was an accomplice to the cocoon smuggling plot. Without him, Darian Crescent would not have gotten the cartoon. Fuck. The cocoon. Why do I want to say cartoon? Furthermore, he can easily prove that the one who plotted to smuggle that cocoon is the real criminal in this case. How so? It would require just one of the very cocoons Mr. Latus was looking for. With the cooperation of the Republic of Virginia, we could burn a cocoon. What? We could burn a cocoon. Oh, I didn't realize what he was saying. He's like, hey, can we get one of those things out here and burn it? Burnt cocoon could leave a particular residue. A residue we would, no doubt, also find inside the burnt-out guitar. Ah, very scientific of you! Thus, if Machi Tobai acknowledges his agreement with Darian Crescent concerning the attempted smuggling of Virginian cocoon, the case is solved! Darian's laughing again. Your unrelenting passion is remarkable. You really want to get me, don't you? Too bad you'll never be able to. Why not? The little key tickler. Don't call it that. Won't acknowledge anything. I always forget that people call playing the piano as tickling it. Especially not anything to do with cocoon smuggling. What's this all about? Taking a cocoon... Fuck. Taking a cocoon out of the country means death. By Virginian law. Ah. Yeah, see? If our pianist really was a smuggler, then testifying about it would be suicide. Believe me, he's not talking. But you're wrong, Detective Crescent. What? It's the other way around. If Machi doesn't admit to smuggling here, he's in deep trouble. Huh? How? Look, if Machi admits to smuggling here, then he'll be tried in our courts by our laws. Is that how it works? I don't think that's how it works. You don't get the death penalty for smuggling in our country. Ah. I mean, I guess this could be how it works in like 2027? Is that when this is taking place? Because I think 2028 is AA5. Because I was having fun laughing at the what happens in the Ace Attorney timeline and what happens in the Zero Escape timeline. Don't let me go, baby. I don't know the law. 2024. Oh wait, that's right. I think I was... Whatever, it doesn't matter. undercover Interpol agent. Wait, no, it's not. It's not 2024 because Phoenix gets disbarred in either 2020 or 2019. I think 2020 because I think this year was the anniversary of Phoenix getting disbarred. And the gap is 7 years, so it's 2027. Virginia will probably file for extradition. I don't remember what extradition means. I assume it just means, like, come back here, bitch. Sure that the news has already reached Virginia. Yeah, they wrote a paper about it. And they'll likely broadcast their dealings in court today. Including the part about the Borginian cocoon. Fuck! Yeah, but... Get fucked. But if Machi doesn't admit to smuggling now, he'll eventually be picked up by the Virginian police. And it's not like he's in any danger in our court. We're not going to find him guilty of murder here, not now. I hate his hair so fucking bad. Yeah, but you can't do this. Ace Attorney is like... It's usually pretty obvious who, like, the quote-unquote bad guy is. But Darian in specific is really like, oh, so it's you, right? I think the only times they ever manage to juke you is on, like, the finale villains. I think usually. I'm thinking about Ace Attorney 2. Is that correct? Which game had, fuck, what was his name? The boy with the same haircut as, Junpei Jujutsu Kaisen. Yeah, Engard! Yeah. That one's, god, that case is so good. You can't accuse me! Maybe the law doesn't allow it. But who's going to think you're really innocent after hearing this trial? The trilogy sucks, but the trilogy finales are fucking good. The finales in the trilogy are good as hell. Yeah, he has the same haircut as Junpei Yoshino. Or rather, like, Junpei has the same haircut as him. You know. It's, I think it's like it's a common hairstyle, but with them it's, like, extremely the same. I think I'm specifically talking about, like, the bangs are common. I'm being earnest when I don't need to be. Irk. The cocoon smuggling, your entire plan. Machi Dabai knows everything. There's only one way out of it for him. And that's to acknowledge his own crime. The crime of cocoon smuggling. Don't worry there. I'll get you out of the country. I'll set you up someplace. A hidden mansion? Real nice. You want a house made out of cookies? Or no, a house made out of pianos? Come on. Please! Don't talk! I forgot that that's what his breakdown story was. Yeah, let's go, bitch. Darian? I consider that my last session with you. We rocked. I'm guessing we can treat that outburst as a confession? Uh-oh, he's laughing again. There's a kind of sick desperation in it now, though. I want to hit but also kiss Clavier. Well, have you been listening to today's trial? The AA4 sprites are so good! No, DGS absolutely has, like, the best sprites, but AA4 has the best 2D sprites. Well, like, AAIs, or Ace Attorney Investigations, what am I saying? Ace Attorney Investigations are pitted well against Ace Attorney 4s because they were made in about the same era. I think that... I forget which one came first. Oh, I'm getting confused between, like, well, sorry. Ace Attorney 4, Ace Attorney Investigations, and the DLC case Rise from the Ashes are all in about the same era. Rise from the Ashes and Ace Attorney 4 were sprited, I think, around the same time. I think they came out around the same time, if I remember correctly. That's why the sprites look like way better in Rise from the Ashes than the rest of the game. It's because it was made like years later. If I remember correctly, feel free to Google it and tell me I'm wrong. But I would say that Ace Attorney 4 has the best 2D sprites, purely just because Ace Attorney Investigations has a different format, so it's not like, it can't be compared to the classic Ace Attorney sprites, because in Ace Attorney Investigations they're like, it's like 2 on both sides of the screen and like 3-4 view, you know? There's no like head-on sprites, you're not in court. Admittedly, I haven't finished Investigations, I've only seen like barely half of the first one. I need to get to them. I'm gonna now that like Investigations 2 is the only unlocalized game. So it's like, alright, I just have one to fuck with instead of having to fuck with DGS. Not that I think the fan translations are bad. They seem very good, I just don't, I don't have the patience to watch Ace Attorney anymore. I can't do it, I can't watch DGS, I have to play it myself. Dude, play Ace Attorney Investigations. Dude, you could stream them. I would come on with you to help you read. I'd do this for you. Yes. And you'll talk? You'll tell the court everything? I didn't want to turn out this way. But I'm not the kind of lawyer that can overlook a crime. Today's trial was all for your benefit, you know? I see no reason why you should hesitate now. I knew. From beginning, I knew. Machi. Situation I cannot explain, but money I needed. Very much money. He's so little. Today's trial raises a delicate issue with our legal system. The only thing definite in the court of law is evidence. This is the golden rule. However, it has become apparent that not all things can be tried by this standard. Should another case of this sort surface, we may have to consider an alternative system by which to administer justice. I still love how they bring this up and then they don't do it for the rest of the series. Anyway, Mr. Machitabai? Yes? I promise you will receive a fair trial by the laws of our country. And with regards to the current charges for the murder of Mr. Latouche, this court is prepared to announce a verdict. Ah! I thank you. I only lie, but you see truth. You find truth. That's our job. Very well. He's so little. This court finds the defendant, Machitabai. Yay! Court is adjourned. I wonder what'll happen to Machi. Well, he did smuggle a cocoon out of Virginia. I guess there'll be another trial here. All's well that ends well. Hi, Phoenix. Daddy! I owe you both my thanks. Lamar? My, is something wrong? I'm sorry, Machi was your partner on stage, your friend! Yes, I thought of him as my own son. Even now, I do. Yet, something got a hold of him, something evil. I see that. It's just called monetary desperation. A simple feeling. Why that emotion, Aster? And he must pay for what he has done. Is that not how it should be? I'm still sorry. Do not be sorry. You have given me courage. Courage? I'm considering an eye operation. It was my suggestion, actually. You mean you'll be able to see again? It's funny. I've always been afraid of the light. Light seems so harsh, so unforgiving. According to the doctor, Lamar lost her sight due to some kind of accident. An accident? As you know, I suffer from amnesia. I feared that, if I could see, perhaps it would open my eyes to the truth I have been running from. I was scared. You know what changed your mind? You're in good defense in there today. She could feel your gaze, unwavering, always looking straight at the truth. If the light returns to my eyes, I think I will take up painting. Painting? Yeah, she has amnesia. That's right! She's the landscape painter in sound, after all! I will paint excuse me. I will paint the two of you, I promise. Woohoo! I can't wait, Lamar! I owe you my thanks, too, Apollo. Thanks, Mr. Wright, but for what? You reminded me I need to hurry things along. On my secret mission, that is. Right, your secret mission. Apollo, Trucy, I hope that we'll meet again someday soon. You bet! Me too! And so, like a ballad, the trial flowed on and on, until it came to an end. Sorry, that didn't be- saying on and on just made, his world spawn in my brain. Thanks to the trial. The guitar serenade was a huge hit. Roscoe de Gavin's even more dazzling to look at now. In his world... What's the specific... I don't remember what the specific line is. But there's something I want to say to that guy. Next time you write a ballad, have them catch the killer at the end. Oh, gay boy. The end. Give me that save button. I'll also pop of this. Whoa. We did it! Rook, do it! Yes, I'm safe. Okay. Waha! And next time, I stream Ace Attorney, I don't... I'll see how I feel next week on if I want to do Ace Attorney again, or if I want to do something else, or if I need to, like, not play games and instead work on things that I need to work on. Succession is the final one. It's the last. It's the last case in Ace Attorney 4, and I'm really excited for it because I like it a lot. It's, I think, what makes Ace Attorney 4 one of my favorite games. My favorite Ace Attorney game, not one of my favorite games. Ace Attorney as a series is... wiggles my hand around. But yeah! No, 4 does not have 5 cases. 4 is shorter. I'm not sure why you probably thought it had 5 just because that's what the... I think the standard is 5 cases per game. I think. I don't remember. But yeah! I will see how I feel next week on if I'm going to stream Ace Attorney or if I'm going to stream at all. Because I do have stuff I need to work on. But such is life. It's hard for me to just sit down and work on stuff because due to my shoulder, I can't just sit down and draw for a whole day. I can't do that anymore. I can draw like few hours a day, maybe take a drawing day, and then I'm out of commission for the rest of that week. So it's making me consider maybe going and doing a stream every other week, or at least just when I feel like it on Wednesdays. But yeah, we'll find it. We'll find it together. We'll find it together. So yeah, next time we come to Ace Attorney, it'll be the last one, but it'll probably take a while because I think it's on the longer side. It is the finale, and I think the final cases tend to be pretty long. But yeah, thank you all for coming. I hope anybody that watches the VOD enjoys it. And if you want to catch me stream proper real life, go to twitch.tv Robotnix, ROBOTNIXX. Don't ask me why. And hit the bell to get a vid. And you can also, I put my VODs on YouTube because I'm a fucking fool and I decided that I don't want to perma-host my VODs on Twitch for some fucking reason. So yeah. You just have to cope with the way I do things. But yeah. See you. Bye. Thank you for coming.